Welcome to Windows 8.1 lessons, and this is lesson 14 using favorites in Internet Explorer. So, what are favorites? The name kind of says it all. It's a way to keep track of all the favorite websites that you have. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't use favorites or don't understand that they exist. And favorites are there to help you keep all the sites that you visit that you would like to actually go back. Yes, there are things like history, and you can go back in time and watch. Okay, I went to this website yesterday. I think I'm going to go see if I can get it back again. Or sometimes people just, type in Google or in a search page the page that they visit every day. I've seen people type in Google their favorite website all of the time. And there's an easier way to actually do the browsing in Internet Explorer, and it's by using favorites. If you are in the desktop version of Internet Explorer, when you click Internet Explorer and you're on your web page, there's a little star on the upper right side of your screen below the red X that you can close the window. That's your favorites. When you click this, you see the favorites. Usually, if there's nothing in your favorites, you'll have a some basic sites. For example, I have favorite bar in Bing. There might be some sites that the computer manufacturer put, for HP, Dell, or Toshiba, or Lenovo might have their own pages in their favorites here. If you want to put your favorite websites there, because it's an easy way to actually get to these sites, when you're on a web page, for example, I like Computer World. It's a web page that I often visit to get the latest computer news. Now, I'm on Computer World, and every time I want to go there, I have to type www.computerworld.com or search for it in Google and then click the link. There's a much easier way to actually do that is when you are on that favorite page of yours, the one that you want to keep, just go into that little star at the top right and click Add to Favorites. Now it's going to give you, okay, Computer World IT News Features. Yep, just click Add. And there you are. Next time you turn on your Internet Explorer browser, for example, I'll put it back on. I'm on my search page, which is my default page. I want to go to Computer World. Now all I have to do is click the star, click Computer World, and here we are. We're on Computer World. Easier, very fast. So favorites are there for making browsing faster, easier, and not complicated. It's great because often we search for subjects in Google, for example, and we find these great websites. And if we don't actually put them in favorites when we see them, what's going to happen is that there is a chance that you will probably have difficulty finding that website that you've searched a week before. I've often had websites that I found that were great, didn't put them in my favorites, and what happened is a month later I wanted to go back and I couldn't find the page anymore. I didn't know how I searched for it, what keywords I put in Google to search for them, so I kind of never found that web page anymore, and it still exists. It's just that depending on the keywords that you've used, or depending on the ranking of Google also, because it changes all the time. Some websites get harder to find, others get easier. It depends on each site. So by using favorites, what you'll do is actually keep your favorite websites close and easy to access. An example is, for example, if I want to go to a web page. YouTube, of course, is one of my favorite pages because it actually is a place that I go often. A lot of people will type, well, okay, YouTube and Google, then we'll click the link to YouTube and say, oh, wow, cool, I'm on YouTube. And why not, while you're there, instead of always searching for it, just click favorites, add to favorites. Here's going to say YouTube, and you just add. And this will create a list of websites, which is always interesting. Now, if you're using the Metro or modern version of Internet Explorer, well, you got your favorites. Also, easy access by either swiping from the bottom up or right-clicking. You have that same little star here. Now, in Windows 8.1, favorites from the desktop version are shared with your favorites of the modern version. And that's nice because in Windows 8, before we had the update to 8.1, Windows 8 did not share. Each browser as its own website. So if you had favorites in the desktop version, they would often not be there in the modern version, and that would get confusing. Now they've fixed that, and in Windows 8.1, they're visible on both sides. So let's see. Here we are, and I often go to a news page, which is the New York Times. Now I want to keep the New York Times webpage easy to access. What will I do? Well, it's simple. You can go and click the little favorite at the bottom. And you see you've got a star with a plus that appears on the upper right of your screen in that bottom side here. It says add to favorites. You can click that star with a little plus sign and it's going to say okay, just add. And here you are. New York Times is now added here, and it's added automatically to my desktop version at the same time. There's something nice in the Metro or modern version of Internet Explorer with favorites. You notice that when I click the favorites, there's that little star with a plus sign that adds the favorites here. But suppose I want to have a quick access to a website on my start screen. Why? Because this, unless you've changed your options in Windows, is probably one of the first things you see. You're on your start screen. So I go off into YouTube and I want to have that YouTube page on my start screen for very easy access every time I want to see it. All I have to do is click that star and then click that little pin here on the right side of the screen. You got pin site. If I click pin site, it says YouTube and it said pin to start. What that means is now I have on my start screen, it's on the right side, YouTube, and I can take it and like I shown you in an earlier lesson, you can actually send it wherever you want. So I'll put it right here because I want to have a very quick access to that. So here we are. Now I want to go to YouTube. All I click is that tile and it shows up my YouTube page immediately. So these are favorites and they're fun to use and very important because we often get to websites that we want to keep and have easy access. So here you know that you can keep it in your browser on the desktop or on the modern version, and you can also pin it to your start screen if you have your start screen. Question that might arise: okay, you can pin it to the start screen, but I'm always using my desktop. Is there a way to actually pin a website to my desktop when I'm in the desktop version of Explorer? Of course, you can pin onto the desktop, but all you'll have to do is simply right click. If you don't see the menu bar at the top, because that's the easiest way, and I think the menu bar should always be visible. So if you don't see that menu bar that I have here on the left side, on the upper left side, just go to the top where there's no icon, no tabs, right click, and just make sure that you have a check mark with menu bar. Once you've seen that, now you can easily go to File and you can just click Send Shortcut to Desktop. And it's going to say, do you want to put a shortcut to the desktop? You say yeah. And when you close, here I have my shortcut for YouTube is right here. I just click on that and it opens my YouTube page from the desktop. So it's easy as that. Hopefully you will find that tabs are useful in lesson 13 and that favorites in lesson 14 that we are now even more interesting. And of course, you can combine both. So you can say, for example, okay, I want to go here. I want to open a second tab. And that tab, I want to open one of my favorites. So what I do is simply go and get my favorites and open that website. So I want to get YouTube, for example. So now I have, actually I think I opened 2 times YouTube, but you get the drift. I can open different websites from different areas. So all I have to do is I want to have a new tab. I want to get my Computer World website. All I have to do is get into my favorites. Make sure that all is selected here because there's you've noticed that there's pinned and there's the favorites bar. So you make sure that all is there. And now I want to have my New York Times page. And here it goes. Now I have 3 tabs that are open. If I click here, I see that I have 2 YouTube and 1 New York Times. So all of that can be used in combination, of course. And hopefully they will be really, really, really used and helpful in your everyday browsing. If you like our lessons, please subscribe to our channel. You'll be informed when new lessons are online. Hope they are easy to understand and that you are not lost. What's cool with YouTube is that you can watch these videos again and again to make sure that you understand something that you might have missed. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, why not ask us or tell us what you think, what you would change, or what you would like to see. And hopefully you will continue watching our lessons for Windows 8.1 and we'll be coming back to our channel. Thanks for watching and bye-bye.